It is for me a real honor and privilege to be able to make this video today where I can reflect on the time that my wife and I started the fight for a better constitutional democracy. There are so many other people involved in this fight, and these people do not sit in Parliament. They are not welcome there. They're not welcome amongst the political parties, the gangs that occupy those seats, that only look out for their own interests, the career politicians that would not be able to get a job outside of the party clique. And I will explain that dynamic to you still properly in future. And I've touched on it in some of my past videos in the Question Everything series. What happened today in the Constitutional Court is a victory for democracy. The road travelled to this victory was a long one, and there was one organization in particular that headed this fight and tried to convince many others, many political parties, to fight this fight with them. And if you actually go to the channels that my wife run, which is the Organic Humanity Movement and Lauren Evanthia, you will see one of her videos where she speaks of how many politicians it takes to change a light bulb. And that video is actually prophetic, because she just came from a meeting and she looked exhausted, if you look at her, where she listened to the people from the New Nations movement before the 2019 national elections. So this was in 2018, and actually heard them give these long speeches when all the New Nations movement wanted to tell them is that we need to elect our candidates independently. There needs to be a way and a means to elect people, that the Constitution allows for this, but that the party gang system does not want this, that the IEC was part of this gang system that was set up by the United Kingdom so that our country can remain firmly in their control and not be an independent democracy. I remember the day that my wife and I, traveled with the leader of the New Nations movement when we met with Advocate Nelson on his farm and with many other dignitaries. All good South Africans, none of them part of any political party. All people that wanted a better democracy for South Africa and that want the international control removed. Advocate Nelson gave of his own time to fight in the High Court in Cape Town at the time for the right that you have to run for public office without being in a political party. And this has been my fight subsequently to my wife starting this fight very deliberately, because she saw how this party gang system worked firsthand, because she was inside the machinery herself. She was dignified enough to leave the machinery, leave it behind, leave a salary and a promising career behind, to start a movement that would change the future of this country. Now, there are many other people striving for the same thing, and all of us need to work together to change the system, the electoral system, as well as our governance system. So this victory today is a first victory. It's a first victory on a longer road for complete change of our governance system. When meeting with the leader of the New Nations movement, it was clear that the person loved this country. When I met with a Zulu king and with a queen from one of our tribes, it was very clear that they love South Africa. These people are not in the mainstream media. The mainstream media does not care for them. But our Constitution, the parts of the Constitution that still looks out for us, today has made their dreams come true. There is still a lot more to fight for, but I want to personally thank Advocate Nelson for the first fight that he did free of charge, together with the New Nations movement in the Cape Town High Court. At the time, the judge did not allow their request for the elections to be declared null and void, because he held that the Constitution wants the elections to happen every 5 years and that the elections should still take place. But this opened the path for the Constitutional Court judgment. And the first Constitutional Court case, the decision was made that an independent, indeed according to the Constitution, can run for public office in the provincial and in the national parliament, which is not possible at this stage. The IEC after that judgment said very clearly that you should just start a political party. But this was not the point. They were missing the point, and very deliberately. We want anyone, you, me, whoever, to be able to run for parliament as an MP, representing your constituency, to run for an MPL in the provincial parliament, or to run as a councillor as you currently can. And we want that to be free from any party politics. And this is a very, very important thing for a better form of democracy. Democracy will never be perfect. There's no system that is perfect. But a truer form of democracy can give most people a chance to have the freedom to choose and live the life that they can aspire to. It'll make those things possible through hard work for people to be able to succeed. The moment you have certain things controlling your life and stunting your progress and the possibility of progress, even when you're willing to work hard, you're not living in a democracy. And it is important that everyone understands how this judgment now opens the path for anyone. And I know so many people that will be wonderful as public representatives, people that I would vote for them to now be able to, in 2 years' time, before the next national elections, make themselves available and start campaigning to be elected into public office. This is a phenomenal victory for democracy and for the people of South Africa. The transition that I've spoken of, that have not taken place since 1994, has now started. It has now only started. And it is sad that it took the Constitutional Court to force the gangs in Parliament to take action. But I do not trust them with us and with the people of South Africa. I don't trust their judgment. I don't trust their ability or capabilities. So I want that entire system changed. Our entire parliamentary system changed, so that the party gang system can be removed and we can elect our president independently, our premier independently, and our mayors independently. But today is an excellent start on that path, and we need to keep the momentum to manufacture this change, to get the impetus through sharing. And by sharing knowledge and experience, we can achieve anything we set our mind to. As long as it is a righteous desire, it will happen. I want you to please subscribe to this channel if you're watching this video. Click the bell icon. There's a lot that will be happening. Please also subscribe to Lauren Evanthia, my wife's channel, where she will describe her path on trying to change the system completely. At the moment, she is the only movement advocating for complete system change. And there's many people supporting her. She has a nationally registered political party that wants to make the party system fall. And this might sound very ironic, but under our constitution, the only way to make it possible for the party system to fall is through the party system itself. So, it is important that all political parties get pushed and pressured to want to change the system. If you're an EFF member or an ANC member or a DA member or a COPE member or a GOOD member, speak to your leaders and tell them to start fighting for the change of the system. It doesn't matter which party you're with, because they are currently irrelevant. Let's make them relevant in a new system. Parties will still exist, but they will not choose the president, the premier, or the mayor. People will choose those elected officials on a ballot. And that must happen. So please, people, pressurize any movement that you're a part of, any party that you're a part of, to advocate for complete system change. The party my wife started, the Organic Humanity Movement, or the OHM in short, which is a symbol for resistance, so in short you can call it the resistance, is advocating for this change. And her party does not fight with other parties at all, because she believes, and correctly so, that they are completely irrelevant in the current system. So she wants all of them to advocate for the system change with her and change the constitution. This is the best way to expose them for who and what they actually are. Because if they will not advocate for this, they will show loud and clear that they are New World Order ideological stooges and agents. They will be exposed. So please, go to your party agents, go to your local councillor, go to any political people that you know in parties and challenge them and hear what they have to say. If they are not willing to work with us in changing our system, they are not your friend. They don't have your interests at heart. They only have their pockets at heart. Many of these people will never be elected as individuals, will never make it without a party gang looking after them and without them towing the party line and not caring about you. How can you be sworn into office and then answer to a party when you should be answering to your electorate? This is not constitutional. This is not what you swore an oath to do. There will be many more videos to follow. Please subscribe to this channel, click the bell icon. Many videos to follow explaining why the party system had to be put in place to cripple this country. And this is taking place right now. And this massive upper punch given to the parties in government, because none of them wanted this to happen. None of those parties in government now wanted this ruling. They are now running around. They are running around thinking, what now? Because they know with independence, running for office, they are in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Their gang system is coming to an end. And I want you to be a part of that fight. Fight that fight with me. Fight that fight with all the other people that are leading this fight. And I have decided to follow what my wife is doing, what the OHM is doing. And I want all other organizations and parties to do the same. In the end, the system will be discussed amongst everyone. The system that we end up with. I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to get involved in that. There are stunning people out there in many organizations that can come up with a system that is just and equitable, as long as we can keep individual leaders accountable for their actions. Because this is where South Africa has failed dismally. Thank you again. We are heading towards 8,000 subscribers. I almost cannot believe it. This has only been 2 weeks since the channel really took off. Within a 2-week period, to actually achieve what we have achieved is unprecedented. You are part of history in the making. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your messages. I cannot get to every single one of them, but I will try my best to put notes at the top or comments at the top of each and every of my videos, and you can go and read that first comment. I pin it to the top. Also go and look at my playlists. I've changed the thumbnails to all of my question everything videos so that it's more visible to you. Go and look at the picture on that thumbnail. Those are all places in South Africa, secret places that the government hid from us. No more secrets. My next video is on light and darkness, and I look forward to sharing that with you.